Speaking of welcoming people to the party, how about a little hashtag the Freight Coach? How about a little hashtag the Freight Coach podcast, thefreightcoach.com. If you go there, you'll find Chris Jolly. He's a passionate professional, extensive experience in leadership, multi-mode direct sales, freight management, business development, and proven growth in a highly competitive segment of the transportation industry. Thefreightcoach.com is where you should go, and we are pleased to welcome for his first appearance on Nemo Nation this amazingly rapid-fire show, Chris Jolly. Good morning to you. Do I got a Chris in the house? There you are, Chris. Good morning.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning,
good
Chris.
Morning.
Doing grand. How are you, and where are we talking to you from?
I'm doing well, live from Phoenix, Arizona this morning, locked in and ready to make some sales calls.
Oh, fantastic. Well, good morning. I'm glad we got on a call with you. This is Dave. Chris, I always look for something that kind of jump in that unites us in a way, and your dad was a driver. And you made mention of the fact, and something that I read about you, that your dad started off with paper log books. Well, here in the radio world, I started off with paper log books too. And there was page after page, and you had to write down everything. Well, you had to write down the time for everything, like 09, 03, 15, 3 minutes and 15 seconds after 9, and you'd write it all down and sign it all down, and everything was good. Pain in the butt, but it was good. Now we have the next gen, which is, everything's done for you, so to speak, with the logging softwares and all of that. And we're having there's a chasm between the old guys like me and the new guys like you who have been born on one side of the chasm, and we're trying to jump over. Don't know that we'll make it. What do you think? Is there a short list of reasons why you think that guys in my generation are just not picking up on what you guys are putting down? Does that make sense to you? And good morning.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Good morning as well. And it does, right? And I think it always just boils down to change. And when you're doing things for such a long time in a certain way and it's effective, you have a hard time grasping why you need to change your processes, right?
Yeah.
Now, and I say, like, most people, if they were operating inside of an ineffective system, they would be like, all right, we need to change things up. And I look at it as when I started in the industry, a lot of the digitization was not a thing. And now I view it as, there's, emerging technologies all the time. I view it as like, all right, how much more can I do in my day now with the right automation and streamlined systems? And, how does this help me run a more efficient business overall? So that's kind of my mindset with it. But I see both sides of the coin. Some of the stuff is annoying at times, but at the end of the day, it's, we got to do what we got to do to survive.
Chris, I want to pivot here because it's your first time on this show, and I hope it'll be the appearance of many more times on Nemo Nation. I want to get a chance for you to introduce what it is you do over at thefreightcoach.com. Dave and I got a chance to dig into a lot of the material and content over there with the podcast and all the other stuff you're working on. But just give the listeners, beyond just your experience of knowing what it's like to be the son of a trucker, your experience in the field and what it is you guys are cooking up over there.
Yeah, so I run a podcast on the transportation industry. We go live 5 days a week. We do 30-minute sets out there. And then I also own a freight brokerage. So I'm in the process of building a business inside of the transportation industry. I've been a broker my entire career. And it was one of those things that I do a lot of this because I just really wanted to. I enjoy people telling their stories. Probably why you guys like doing what you guys do on the radio.
A little bit.
As long as you guys have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I love hearing people's stories, but most importantly, I want to put best practices out there for people because, yes, there's conferences, there's trade shows, there's all this cool stuff, but not everybody can afford to shut their business down. And that was kind of a big driving force for me is I'm like, I think about the conversations I had with my old man and a lot of his friends that were drivers growing up is how much better could they have been in business if they had access to the right information? And with today's, with day and age, whether it's, radio or podcasting, we can interview some people that have built incredible companies, and they can lay out a step-by-step guide for people to follow where they can go out there and apply it to their business. And 5 years in to podcasting, that's my main driving force is how can we build a catalog of information for people inside of the transportation industry to come in, listen to it, see some value in it, apply it to their business, and go out there and achieve their goals.
I wanted to kind of tell you to kind of give an example of what Chris Jolly is talking about this morning, just to kind of show you how what you're doing is so important, especially doing it live. And we really want people to check out your blog and to check out your podcast, because all of this stuff is so crucial. Our good friends Ed Beachbum says good morning to you. Wanted to tell good morning to the whole road gang. And Bruce Almighty actually on YouTube is participating as well too. There's so many ways people can get connected. And you're right. Part of what you're doing is making sure that you can be in all the places where the guys and gals who are out on the road making their living can't be, but you can almost put them there and give them access to that information, because people, it's almost turning into NASCAR out there, where everybody actually is sharing best practices for safety reasons, because nobody wants to be in a hostile environment. So that it may be that we're moving towards a place where the competition is genuinely friendly, where people want to succeed because they know if anybody else fails spectacularly, it brings the whole industry down, right?
Yeah, no, I agree, right? And there's so many individuals out there that, I look at it as the entire industry is comprised of small business, right? No matter how you want to spin it, 90% of the businesses inside of logistics and transportation are what's considered small business. Why aren't we highlighting them? Again, this is nothing against the larger publicly traded companies that are in the space, but like what they're doing is vastly different than what a lot of us should be doing inside of our businesses, right? So it's like, how do we talk to that family company that's, third generation at this point? What have they done to sustain out there? They built a 100 truck or a 50 truck operation, and maybe that's somebody's goal out there. That might be an owner op or 2 truck, 3 truck operation. They want to get to 50, and that's as big as they want to go. So why don't we talk to those individuals and put that information out there to help them kind of build up? How do they finance properly? Choosing the right finance partner, the right insurance partner to get the best strategy in place so they can go from 3 to 5, 5 to 10, 10 to 20, and so on,
Absolutely. And Chris, before we actually, and I told you this goes by so fast, man. We do this so rapid fire fast. But I wanted to ask you a really simple question. It's going to seem almost like just basic stuff. When people who don't know the transportation industry ask you what you do as a broker, how do you answer them?
Oof. I always try and make it use a very simple example of like, we pick up, Coca-Cola order, they need a truckload brought from Phoenix, Arizona to Los Angeles. And then we go in there and we find the capacity to pick that up and deliver that for them. But I also look at it now, as long as I've been doing this, is like we play a part in building this country. We play a part in when that family who's been saving up for the majority of their life to build their dream home, we're delivering that truckload of shingles out there to that job site. And we're helping connect this nation. And that's one thing that I really like to get out there across the messages is if you're a transportation professional, you're the backbone of this economy. This world does not move without the individuals like myself and others who execute day in and day out inside of logistics. And it's all built off of the drivers who are out there on the road day in and day out, spending time away like my old man did, missing events and making sure that those goods are there, safe and on time.
Chris, promise Dave and I that you'll come back really soon and let us know what's going on next. Really quickly, what is the next podcast people can look forward to from you?
It's going to be released here this morning. A good friend of mine, Garrett Bowers of Bowers Trucking out of Oklahoma, talks about a pivot that they made recently in their business. It's going to be out on iTunes and Spotify here any minute now. And again, we go live every single weekday at 10:30 Central on LinkedIn and YouTube. And then the audio only replay, the Freight Coach podcast, is on iTunes and Spotify by about 2 o'clock Pacific every day. Here's the golden rule at Nemo Nation. If you guys want to go out and check that out as it kind of gets going, actually go over there and enjoy it. You can always check out our content later when we download it. Hey, guys, go to thefreightcoach.com. Chris, go have a great broadcast. Go have a great time.
I just subscribed.
Yeah, we both did. There you go, man. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.